fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you.
Welcome to my environmental place. I'll start with a paradox. At the moment, for our life on Earth, we need 1.5 planets. So much we use of the resources, so much we degrade. But we have only one planet with all its ecosystems. We are far, far beyond our planetary boundaries. It looks like we need to learn to live within our sustainable limits, as we used to. In their small ways, my international students try to put us back on sustainable track by going to the field. Here come some of them: Japanese, Chinese, West and East African, Central Asian. Yes, we all work in a laboratory, but it's impossible to monitor problems from inside only. One has to move around, sniffing out innovations, visiting nearby canals and wetlands. But noisy real life, with all its environmental pressures, usually dwarfs our attempts. Water plants or macrophytes encourage biodiversity which we have lost. Importantly, they bring back health to community. We try to bring water lilies to our campus. They decrease water turbidity and enhance water quality. Plants stabilize all naturally interconnected consortia of species, so fundamentally important for functioning of the biosphere. Wetlands can make our campus not only beautiful, but sustainable for decades to come. Due to numerous canals, Bangkok used to be called Venice of the South. Take this famous floating market. Its situation may be a metaphor for what happens to freshwater resources around the world. In this water we find pathogens causing leptospirosis, salmonellosis, traveler's diarrhea, just to name a few. In the latest times, new chemicals are also found: antibiotics, antidepressants, even Viagra. Water may be also disastrous in floods. We study this with students in Afghanistan and in South Central Asia. Or we had a sad opportunity to professionally learn it hard way from our own disaster in 2011. During the record-breaking Great Flood, water in IIT campus was up to over 2 meters for more than a month. Recovering some of my belongings from the flooded office was a chance to do a health risk assessment. With climate changing globally, this experience will sure come in handy in many countries where we work. Problems abound everywhere. Sometimes we need to extend our helping hand to coral reefs in terms of ecological risk assessment. Take a look at this annual flood in Vietnam, where we work with the Wetland Alliance and WWF, mitigating flood and pollution. Well, I think this place has a tremendous potential for that, because this is a really interesting spot. This fairy tale-like Nipa Palm mangrove plays a role not only as an ecotourist destination, it became an integral part of the most famous eco-city in Vietnam, beautiful Hoi An town, the UNESCO heritage site. Innovative solutions for global polluted wastelands require coordinated networking of experts and students, be it in Africa, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Papua, or even future students, still children. Another chance to collaborate with WWF is in Cambodia. Pristine Mekong River stretch near Laos features globally significant biodiversity. River dolphins, huge variety of fish. All of a sudden, filamentous algae appear and wreak havoc in the ecosystem. They are usually associated with pollution, but most likely it is an early sign of systemic ecological imbalance in Mekong River basin. Paradox is that these algae are edible, so edible resources can provide a stimulus for the poor communities to clean up the river. People in Southeast Asia live in a close association with animals. Our WHO Collaborating Center works on health risk assessments of emerging infectious diseases, the most famous being avian flu. Another paradox is that the difference between water problems in Afghanistan or Central Asian Aral Sea and, say, American Colorado River or Central Australian outback is not that great as it may seem. Central Australia offers desert lessons for environmental management in Afghanistan. Decades of intensive agriculture, sheep and cattle ranching, stressed a fragile ecosystem. For millennia, it was tuned up to kangaroos only. Environmental tensions lead to social conflicts. Preventing them is our task. Integrity of ecosystems, their macro and microbial diversity, is critical for health and environmental quality. Ecological imbalance leads to the imbalance within our bodies. The poorer people are, the more susceptible they are to environmental impacts. The richer they are, the more environmentally aggressive they become, the more massive is the damage they cause to soil, water, air, and other environments. Papua is a rare case of still mostly untapped natural resources. Untouched places serve as reference points. By their very existence, they inspire us to improve our degraded environment. But even here problems abound, particularly in cities. Mangroves, if properly ecologically engineered, can prevent degradation. They can simultaneously treat waste, enhance biodiversity, prevent erosion, protect from storms and tsunamis.
Boss me we yira kwan an. Am I what our balloon? Afu. Mama bunala. Oh.
今天早上这里的水池，我跟我的东西也没什么关系，我没有看到太多的植物，反倒是我们学校里面的睡莲和荷花很漂亮。
まあ確かにそれはあるよね。多分それが多分一つの理由だと思う。
Without uniting our forces, we have no chance to solve environmental problems. We need to start speaking one language, the language of sustainability.